Hey everyone, happy college football. Welcome to Porcelain Picks. I'm your host, Andrew Fabian. Coming to you on Sunday morning, we're on the eve of the college football national championship game. It's incredible how quickly this season has flown by. We're sitting here middle of January. We started off Labor Day weekend. Actually, before Labor Day weekend, the fall just flew by. The winter's flown by thus far. Thank you for sticking with us through the season. We at Porcelain Picks are here to deliver you the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. So make sure you subscribe, like us. We're going to be coming back next year with more content. We might have some off-season discussion, looking at the season ahead for 2026. But one more pick to make. We're coming off the last two rounds of the playoffs on a hot streak, 9-2 the last two rounds. So one more winner for you. The Miami Hurricanes come in on a hot streak. 3 straight wins in the college football playoff. They beat Texas A&M on the road. They upset Ohio State, and then they got the best of Ole Miss in the last round. This is the unlikely team to make the finals. People are on the fence about whether this team deserved to be in the playoff or not, but Miami proved that they were the right pick by running the gamut and getting to the finals. On the flip side, Indiana, the Goliath of college football, they had no trouble at all dismantling an overrated Alabama Crimson Tide team, destroying Oregon last round, and now they're sitting here as 8.5-point favorites with one game to go for the most unlikely of turnarounds to a college football program that we've ever seen in the sport. Curt Cignetti has them here on the precipice of history. All right. So let's break down the game for you. We got Miami hosting Indiana in the national championship. Yes, that's right. It's at Hard Rock Stadium. Miami will be home. Let's see what crowd shows up for them. We know the Indiana alumni base is very rich in quantity, so will they be traveling to this game? I think they will. I think their fans are going to show up in a big way against the Hurricanes. Again, like I said, Indiana minus 8.5. The over-under is 47.5 right now. That's a number I'm going to stay away from. I'm not going to lock that one up, but I'll give you a lean on that throughout the broadcast here. So let's dive into the action. We got Miami again. They're coming in with a very hot streak here. Carson Beck, guy who graduated 2 years ago, as we just found out in his interview this week. He's a seasoned veteran with a lot of poise, and he's going to have to show up with that poise in this game against Indiana. Indiana takes advantage of turnovers. We saw the pick six on the first offensive play for Oregon last game. Game was over at that point. There was no coming back from it for Oregon. So Indiana does capitalize on turnovers. They capitalize and cause mistakes, and then they make teams pay. So Miami is going to have to keep a clean sheet. It's easier said than done. Indiana has not lost a turnover battle all season long. Miami, Carson Beck, he's been known to turn the ball over. They had a couple defeats this season where he didn't play his best football. He's going to have to play his best game. Let's take a look at the Indiana offense. So when you look at Indiana's offensive side of the football, the big name there, Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza. But believe it or not, Indiana's been getting it done in the playoffs so far by running the football. You may say that's because they've been up big in both games they've played, but they've really only thrown the football about 30% of the time. That stat that's been highlighted everywhere, Fernando Mendoza, 8 touchdown passes so far in their 2 playoff games, only 5 incompletions. These guys are efficient when they decide to throw the football. They've got 2 running backs who are close to 1,000 yards. They have a chance to both eclipse 1,000 yards in this game if they do put the rock in their hands. They've got Roman Hembley. They've got Kalen Black, 2 very capable running backs to get the job done here against a stout Miami defense. On the outside, so when Mendoza is slinging the ball around, he's got 3 very strong wideouts. Elijah Sherratt is the household name. This guy's been great the last couple of years for the Hoosiers. You throw the ball up. There's no 50-50 balls with this guy. He catches 75% of the time. It's a 50-50 ball. The name that has really come out of the woodwork, you got Charlie Becker. Becker showed up big in that win against Penn State, where Penn State almost beat Indiana earlier this season in Happy Valley, but Becker has showed up in the playoff. He's their deep threat. He's a speedster. Watch for him to get a couple looks from Mendoza when they establish the run and they try to take that deep shot on a play action. You've also got Omar Cooper. This guy, great player. He caught that incredible touchdown catch at the end of the Penn State game. Keep bringing that game up because it was a dagger in my heart. But Cooper, very great wide receiver as well. So Indiana can get it done on every angle of the offense against the Hurricanes. Miami's defense, though, their defensive front is second to none in college football this season. They've got a lot of experience. They've got a lot of star power on the defensive side of the football. They've got a lot of speed. They're going to have to try to contain Indiana. They're going to have to get some pressure on Fernando Mendoza. I see them attempting to do that, so it's going to be really important for Indiana to establish the run and for Miami not to allow them to run the football down their throats. On the Miami side of the ball, I already mentioned Carson Beck. He's been known to turn the ball over in the past, but he is a veteran. He's going to come into this game prepared. He's not going to let the stage get too big for him. I think Carson Beck's going to have a big game today. Miami, the way they've gotten it done on the offensive side of the football, they've run the ball very well so far this playoff. They have established the pass in a couple of these games, but they do run the bubble screen. They don't really take a lot of deep shots down the field. I think they're going to have to do that today against Indiana. They're going to have to connect and have a really efficient day on the offensive side if they're going to even keep this game close. You've got Tony on the outside. This guy's a speedster. He can break it open. Again, that's why that bubble screen works so well. They get the ball in his hands, look to make a couple defenders miss, and he's off to the races. The only problem on the Indiana side, on the defensive side of the football, these guys are a top 5 tackling team in college football. So tough, easier said than done to make these guys miss when you're Tony. But we'll see if Miami can make that happen. Again, I think Indiana shows up in this game. I think they're going to get a turnover early. It's just what we've seen the last few weeks. These guys are just ready to play every single game. They have very low threshold for mistakes. They do not make them. I think Kirk Cignetti is going to have these guys in a really just outstanding mindset headed into this game. I think Miami's going to come in ready to play. They're going to be chomping at the bit to get out there and just get in front of their home crowd and really punch Indiana in the face. I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be a similar story that you saw in the first 2 rounds, but I think Miami keeps it a bit closer than either Alabama or Oregon did. So take Indiana minus 8.5. I think they win this game something like 34-10, 34-14. I do think they lean in. They make it tough when teams get behind. They are going to score some points in the second half. They're going to really lean on Miami and get the job done. So the over-under, I'm going to stay away from it, but you may have heard from that score prediction. I actually like the under 47.5 with that 34-10 prediction. So if you do want to go with that, by all means, we're not going to lock that one up. The lock of the week, Indiana, minus 8.5. Lock it up, flush it up, move on with the rest of your week. Happy college football, everyone. We at Porcelain Picks are blessed to deliver you the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. Happy college football, everyone.